All right, so framing has begun today. Ronnie's crew's hard at work. We got 8 guys here. Ronnie, the guy owner's over there. We basically almost got the entire basement. The walls framed up today. They're working on the top plates all the way around. They're over to there. Got all these top plates in. The wall they're framing up there is the underneath the fireplace, basically. So that's like a little, like a closet, basically, underneath the fireplace. We still need to come out and cut these studs. They screwed up. That's the stairs turn and come down here, so they'll fix that tomorrow. They're coming out tomorrow, working a half day. So basically by tomorrow, the end of the day, we'll have all the basement walls framed, and they'll probably start setting trusses tomorrow. So they're working on getting everything square and level today, and then they'll probably sheathe this part off tomorrow a little bit. We got our garage door there. This is my workshop space down here. So this whole room is my workshop. That's like a little office bedroom kind of thing over there. This will be like sort of a second living room space down here with a kitchenette over there, and then a separate little room over there. And then we've got a big storage room back here. So you can see we put a 6.0 opening there, and then this is just a big storage room here, full width, very large room there. So yeah, sun's almost set now, so about to wrap it up for the day, and then they'll be back out here tomorrow, working a half day tomorrow. And then we've got bad weather coming in Sunday. They're calling for ice and snow and freezing rain and stuff Sunday, so we'll have to I don't know whether they'll work Monday or not. We'll see, but that's the plan. So nice to see it coming together. Glad we're finally framing, and before we know it, we'll have a whole house here. So, all right, guys, that's our update for today. Have a great day. All right, so I'm walking plates here, which is I'm not meant for this anymore. I'm too old for this. I'm a little bit scared of heights, but I made it out here. Just walked across. It's actually, you can grab onto the trusses. So I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on with the trusses, because like, as you can see there, see that gap? Something's not right. So they were looking at it, and anyway, so I brought my laser out here. I forgot my stand, so I've got it shooting from over there. You should really put the laser like in the middle of the area so that you get a good average around, because what can happen is if you have a little bit of a compounded error over there, the further away you get, the more the error compounds. So if you have it in the middle and you keep that radius tight, you actually get a more accurate measurement. So what I might actually do is, now that I look at that, I'll go move the laser and put it on this table right here, and then reshoot it from the middle of the house. I'm just checking. You find one spot and then run around and check everything else. And we're really low in this area, so I don't know if like the concrete guys like poured that really low or what, but we're gonna have to add like another plate on top of that, because it's almost an inch. It's like an inch and a quarter out. I checked a lot of spots, and I mean, all across this area, we're all within like a quarter of an inch of flat. So quarter of an inch, that's across that many feet, is not bad at all. Like, I consider that okay. So we're within a quarter of an inch across, and actually across the back of the house, it's pretty much just about dead nut. So that corner over there is only like an 1/8 of an inch low compared to this corner over here and in the middle. So I call that pretty darn level. So So anyways, they it's the end of day 2. They pretty much set all of the trusses today, minus one. There's like one truss that goes right here. I don't know why they missed it. I think it's one of those over there. So they set everything but that one truss. Actually, they missed 2. I set those 2 trusses over there. For some reason, earlier they were packing up and I was giving them a hard time about it. I was like, hey, you guys leaving 2 trusses? Come on, guys, come on. Like, so anyways, they set all those, and yeah, so we'll I'm gonna probably go figure out which one this is. I gotta go look at the diagram and see which one it is, and I'll just probably set this one because it just sets on top of this wall right here. So yeah, but the only thing left I've got to do is, you can kind of see it there, but you see that pressure treated plate up against the foundation? They didn't do that. I came back and did that because I wanted that air sealed tight to the foundation. And then I basically cut out that stud, nailed in the other one, and then we'll have to just spray foam that gap in between because it's actually not, it's a little bit out of plumb. So at the top, it's about a 1/2 of an inch out at the top. It's tight at the bottom. Not a big deal. We'll just spray foam. We'll fill that whole thing up with spray foam. And then when you put the sheathing on the outside of the house, that'll air seal it too. I've got to do the same thing over here. And I ran out of time earlier. The guys had to leave and I was blocking their way. And I was also borrowing their reciprocating saw. I went home and got my battery powered one. They took all their extension cords and all that stuff away. So I went and got my battery powered saw, and I'll just use that and finish up. So I'm gonna cut out that last stud there. I've got a pressure treated one down here. I'll just seal and ram set that to the wall and then put that other stud back into place. And then that way we've got a nice tight air seal up against the concrete all the way around. The guys did a good job towards the end of after I sat around and followed them around and sealed up all the plates. They sort of got the hint that they need to do the air sealing of the plates. So they started doing it. Actually, the 2 younger guys on the crew that were doing the plates, they ended up doing it. One of the guys kind of understood. I explained to him, and he's one of the ones on the crew that speaks English. The youngest guy on the crew speaks English, and the oldest guy on the crew speaks English. The rest of them all speak Spanish. So I was talking to him and explaining to him why we're doing it, and he's like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense," you know. So he understood it, and then he kind of took over as the air sealing guy and making sure we were caulking all the seams and stuff and all the plates so that we don't get any air leakage in here. So I gotta go finish that up here, and then I'll get out of here for the day. But I wanted to bring my laser out here. I forgot to bring it earlier and check level and figure out if we're good and flat and level all the way across. I don't understand why this framing crew doesn't own a laser. They showed up out here yesterday with a water hose and water in it, like a plastic tube, which we'll find level. It's perfect. That's the old school way of doing it. But it's like, holy crap, you guys frame enough houses. You'd think you would have bought a laser by now. I mean, that one I've got, that Bosch, I think it was like $500, $600. But I mean, they last for a long, long time. So I don't understand why they wouldn't buy one, but it's a great tool to have to make sure that everything's perfectly flat. Whatever you're working on is dead flat. So, but we got the whole floor system in. So on Monday, we'll figure out this plate here and shim it up and get it nice and dead nuts level. And then they'll start sheathing the floor system, putting the Advantech down on the subfloor. And by the end of the day, Monday, we will probably have a lot of the first floor walls framed up, which is kind of cool. I don't know if they're going to do the garage. I don't know what their plan is, whether they're going to like frame the subfloor and then start framing the garage walls and then frame this area. I'm not 100% certain how they plan on doing that. So, but Monday morning when they get out here, hopefully it looks like it's going to snow, but I don't think we're not going to have the ice like they originally thought. So it should be a good day. I mean, it'll be cold out here. It's only a high of 30 on Monday, so it's going to be really cold. But you know, they get out here and work in the cold. Ronnie, the owner of the company, said they did a job a few years ago up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in the winter. So that's nuts. So, all right, guys. Well, that's today's update. End of day 2. All right, I'll take you a tour of the basement. So here's the back of the basement. The screen and porch is going to come out out to here. So that'll be under cover right there. This is where I'm gonna park my trailer parking area. We're gonna bring in some more gravel here this week, put some more gravel out in this area just to stop some of the mud, maybe scoop out some of that mud and replace it with some more gravel. So this is all going to be trailer parking. We got 2 windows here. This is the garage door into my workshop. That's an 8 foot tall door, 9 foot wide. We put our header actually up in the floor system. So walk in here. So this is my workshop. This space is 15.5 feet wide by 24 feet deep. So it's a little bit bigger than my old workshop. My old workshop in my old house was 15.5 feet wide by 21 feet deep. So this is a little bit deeper. What I'm gonna do differently is I'm actually gonna put all my cabinets on this wall here. So all my cabinets will go over here. Rather than in my old shop, they were on the side. So yeah, and then let's walk through here. This is a future bathroom right here. Shower over there, toilet right there, vanity right here. I got pretty good on my plumbing that I did. I was basically right just inside that wall. So I did pretty good there. Pat myself on the back. This is like a future bedroom office kind of room. It's kind of narrow with once you put a 2x4 wall in front of that wall, this room will only be 9.5 feet wide. So it's kind of narrow, but it is long. This way it's I think it's like 16 feet or 15 feet. We had originally had a closet in the plans here, and the architect did the closet like, he had it like, I think it was sitting underneath this wall here. So it's going to be this massive closet down here. So what I'm actually going to do is if we ever finish this, I'll frame in just a small closet here, like a little 2 foot by 4 or a 2 foot deep or 3 foot deep closet just out to there. And that should leave enough width in this room if you wanted to do something different. So, and there's a entry door there, a 3.0 entry door. Pro tip, if you're ever building a house, make all of your exterior doors 3.0, which if you don't know what that means, that's 3 feet wide, 3 foot 0 inches wide. If you don't know anything about building and you hear the term 2.6, that's 2 foot 6 inches wide, 2.8, 2 foot 8 inches wide, 3.0. So that's a 3.0 door. I kind of wish that window was like centered on that wall a little bit. And I might cut all that out and change that. I don't know. It's not that bad, but I kind of wish that window was centered there. I think it would look better. So let's turn around. This is a utility room. So this will have there's a ejector pit right there for the plumbing. There's a rough in. This is a 3-inch pipe that goes into the ejector pit here, or it actually ties in. It runs here and then makes a turn. And then this vent ties into it, and that's the vent for this area. And then this will be vented there. So there's a future kitchenette going here. So that's why we put the pipe there. As I probably talked about in another video, I had to put it right up against the footing. So the footing's right there. And then we'll just tie into this later in the future. It's in the utility room, so it doesn't really matter if it's sitting out in the room. We'll put the water heater in here and the HVAC unit in that closet. So this is sort of living room area. So our living room is up above this upstairs. So this is sort of a mirror image of the living room downstairs. The stairs will come down right there. So they kind of go down this way and then turn, come out right there. There's a little closet. This will be, I'll put the audio video equipment, all the AV equipment for the house will basically fit down here, either in this closet or I might put it under the stairs. I haven't decided yet. We did do an LVL across here just to sort of open this space up. So you kind of have 2 different spaces here. So you've got the fireplace area, and then you've got another sort of space here. And then there's a double door into this big, massive storage room here. So this is 27, no, 20, yeah, I think it's 27 feet or might be 30 feet deep through here. You do have that little bump out there. And if I wanted to, I could go through this, cut through this wall eventually and dig all that dirt out of there and have like a little safe room, but you know, I don't know if I'll ever do that. So this room is huge. Will just be a massive room. I might make this into like a media room in the future, like a home theater room or something. Would be kind of cool one day. Over here is just another sort of extra room. Could be a media room, could be like a non-legal bedroom. It doesn't have any egress in here, so it can't technically be a bedroom, but it could be like some sort of other room, workout room or something like that. So that's pretty much it. That's the basement. This whole space down here is 2,250 square feet, so it's pretty sizable basement. Much bigger than our other basement. Our other basement at our old house was like a total of like 900 square feet thereabouts, and we had about 850 square feet of it finished. So this is definitely bigger than that. So we got all the trusses in. So yeah, love it. Love seeing it come together. Once they put all the floors, once they put the flooring in upstairs and all that, that'll tie in this whole basement together, and they can take out all this cross bracing and stuff, and they'll use it upstairs. So, all right, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, guys. All right, I want to talk about some air sealing details here. So, this is one thing I had to fix because the framers just put the stud like right here. And I wanted it airtight up against the foundation. So I came back in and cut out that stud, and then I put in a pressure treated 2x6 against the wall, and then I shot it in with some ramset nails. And then what I did, before I put it on the wall, I actually ran a couple beads of this Lexel sealant. It's made by Sashco. It's a clear sealant and adhesive. It's like kind of both. It's instantly waterproof, cured, sealed, mildew resistant, paintable, sticks to almost anything. It is not silicone. It looks like silicone. It's clear like silicone, but it's not silicone, and it doesn't yellow out quite as much as silicone does. So came in here and ran a couple beads of Lexel on the 2x6 and then stuck it up against the wall to sort of smush it in. We did have a little bit of a gap up at the top because of the way the concrete was poured, which is exactly why you need to take these details, because concrete's not poured perfectly flat and straight. Sometimes there's ridges and bumps and dips and valleys and stuff in it. So I came in, nailed that off, and then I then put a bead of Lexel in the corner here, and then I came outside here and ran a bead down there. There was a little bit of a gap, so I filled that gap on both sides, so we're air sealed on both sides. And then I also ran another bead of Lexel up there. We do have this weird funky gap there that I'm gonna have to like spray some spray foam in or something before we put the siding on the house, because there's a gap in there and it's just too much to fill with Lexel. So yeah, we did that, and then I came back in and then I nailed this stud back into place. I did the same thing over there on that side. So same exact thing over here. Show you. Nailed it tight to the concrete, sealed it up with sealant, also ran 2 beads of sealant behind it as well, and then shot it into place with some ramset nails. And then I ran a bead all the way up here in the corner, and we do have a gap here, and I'll just have to do some expanding or some spray foam and spray foam that gap, because this is not exactly plumb. So we'll spray foam that gap, no big deal. Fill up that cavity, get it nice and sealed, and then when we run our zip system up here, we'll bring it up tight to this, and then I'll actually also seal the zip system to that as well. So we'll run another bead of sealant up against the zip system, and you'll have like a super airtight barrier. And then the sill plate sealer. Oh, I need to run some more Lexel on that seam right there. I just noticed that. I do have a can, so I'll go ahead and seal that up, because that's a notorious leaky spot. I actually had in my old house, there was a spot like that that leaked like crazy. Big old gap in the bottom plate. It's probably a quarter of an inch thick. It was right in my office down in the basement. And man, you could feel the air coming in. So I actually went on the outside of the house and looked up underneath, and you could see the big gap, and all that air was just, cold air was just rushing in. So we sealed that up. You can see where the concrete guys kind of screwed up there. So that's not quite perfect, but that's okay. That happens. So the framers made up for it. We'll bring our sheathing down tight, close to that, and we'll seal all that off. And then they somehow, concrete guys screwed up a bolt there, and I wish the framing guys had just cut that off and not notched around it. That annoys me a little bit, because now I have this stud notched out here, but there is another stud behind it, and there's a stud there, so it's fine in terms of structural support. But they wanted to notch that out for some reason. They should have just cut the damn bolt off, but I don't know. Maybe they didn't have a grinder on handy and they just wanted to work fast. So yeah, we sealed all that up. So I'll go around here real quick now that I think about it and seal up that one seam with Lexel. And I think there's another seam right over here that needs to be sealed up too. So I'll seal that up, and then we should be nice and tight. So pay attention to your air sealing details. That's where all the air leaks in. All right, guys. Have a good one. We're decking. So we had a little issue, which I mentioned in the other video. God, it's so muddy today. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. Where this wall is low, so we actually had to shim it up. As you can see there, we used some 5/4 deck boards and shimmed up there an inch, essentially, to take up the gap. So he's putting in blocking in between all of that, just blocking all that up. So yeah, we had to shim this whole thing up. Basically all these bump outs over there was okay, but all this over here was just out of level. So it happens. So we had to make up for the difference, but we got the laser out earlier and got everything basically perfectly flat. We're plus or minus a little less than 1/4 of an inch all the way around. So I call that pretty level. So nice to see decking going down. All right, so it's Monday. I guess this is day 3 of framing. We got all of the Advantech decking down. So they got all the decking down today. The guys are finishing up all the blocking of the studs down in the basement and padding out a few things and adding some bearing beams down to the footing and all that stuff. They're over here marking out all the walls. So they're going to start setting up walls tomorrow. So exterior walls, interior walls, all that stuff. So it's coming along.